Hello everyone, and welcome to Hill Street. Today's story is, My Little Sister Visits Me at Night, and I Wish She'd Stop, by OK Bookkeeper 6074. If you end up enjoying this story, please leave a like, and if you enjoy hearing stories from me, please subscribe and become a resident of Hill Street. And let me know how I'm doing in the comments. Now, let's get to this nightmare. Guys, I need help, and quick. So, for a little backstory, I'm a 21-year-old girl, and I live at home with my parents. I guess they weren't careful enough one night, because I also have an 11-year-old sister. I'll just refer to her as my sister, because I don't want to use her name in case she looks up herself someday. Don't get me wrong, I'm not sad about that. She's a very nice girl, and I've always enjoyed playing dolls and whatever with her. We're a happy little family, and nothing bad has ever happened to us. We eat breakfast together every morning, have fun at dinner, and have movie night every Wednesday evening. So far so good, right? Well, in the last year, a lot has changed. My sister became distant, and she didn't talk to us as much anymore. We just thought puberty was starting for her, and my parents still think that's the case to this day. She spends a lot of time in her room. It seems like she's always on the phone with someone because she's always whispering. For a while, I wondered if she had a secret boyfriend, but when I asked her about it, she seemed a bit offended, so I decided to not pry anymore. We live in a nice little home close to a forest. When you walk all the way to the back of our garden, you can enter the forest. So naturally, me and my sister did spend quite some time between the trees, building forts and trying to build a tree house. The remains of the tree house are still in the tree, but we never quite got the chance to finish it since Dad got a job offer back then and took it, meaning he had little less time to work on it. Then we just kind of forgot about the tree house. It seems like my sister has been quite sad about this lately. She spends hours at the edge of the forest looking at the tree house. I brushed this off, thinking she was just going through some things. Before you come for me, I do assure her a lot that she can always talk to me if something is up, and she doesn't feel comfortable talking to Mom and Dad about it. But she just smiles, nods, and thanks me. So far, this all isn't too bad, but especially the last 3 months have been very weird. It started with me waking up in the middle of the night because I heard something in my room. I'm not a light sleeper, but the sound did wake me up. When I turned on the light on my bedside table, I saw my sister standing next to the chair in my room. I called her name, and she looked up, looking confused. "What are you doing in here? It's 2:50 a.m. I asked her. She blinked a few times and rubbed her eyes. "Must have been sleepwalking," she said. I got out of bed and walked her back to her room, tucking her in and brushing her forehead for a minute before getting up and wishing her a good night. She smiled and turned around, almost immediately falling back asleep. I returned to my room and crawled into bed. I had never seen her sleepwalk before, but there's a first time for everything, right? In the morning, I did tell Mom about it. She was a bit surprised, but said it wasn't something to worry about. She sleepwalked quite a lot as a kid as well, so maybe it was just something she had passed down to my little sister. When my sister joined us for breakfast, she did look a bit tired. Mom asked her about her night, and she just shrugged. The rest of the morning wasn't out of the ordinary. Mom cooked some eggs, and we joked around with Dad before he left for work. The next couple of nights were normal, and so were the days. I attended online classes. With COVID and all that, I prefer staying at home a little longer because I have a weak immune system. And my sister went to school. Whenever she got home, she would have a lot of stories about her classmates and about Miss Reed's frantic behavior. It's always funny to me to hear about Miss Reed, since she also taught me back when I was in that school. It was Wednesday, so we picked up a movie to watch. My sister had been really into the more popular movies lately, so we watched The Kissing Booth, even though it wasn't really me and my parents' cup of tea. We made some popcorn and enjoyed our time together. My mother put my sister to bed, and I spent more time with my parents watching some NCIS or something. I don't quite remember. Around midnight, I went to bed and scrolled through TikTok for a while before closing my eyes and drifting off to sleep. Not even 2 hours later, I was woken up by a loud bang. I jerked up and saw my sister standing next to my bed, bent over and rubbing her leg. "What's going on?" I asked, confused and sleepy. "I don't know. I ran into your bed," she replied, still rubbing her leg. I got up and walked her to the bathroom. Her shin looked a bit red. "That's going to be a big bruise, dummy." I laughed and rubbed her head. "Let's get you back to bed. You really need to stop sleepwalking." She groaned a bit and nodded. 1 or 2 nights later, the scary part happened. It was a normal evening, and my sister went to bed. My parents and I had a glass of wine and talked a bit before I went to bed as well. I was woken up somewhere in the middle of the night because I felt pressure on my body. I opened my eyes and was met with my sister's face, only a few inches away from mine. She was staring at me with big, bulgy eyes and a very unsettling smirk on her face. I pushed her away and crawled back a bit against the frame of my bed. "What the heck?" I exclaimed. "Go back to your room and leave me be. I'm trying to sleep." Still, with that horrifying smirk on her face, she chuckled and crawled off my bed. Not breaking eye contact with me, she walked backwards out of my room, and I didn't stop staring at my door until I heard her close it. A bit uneasy, I got up and placed the chair in my room in front of my door. I brushed off the uneasy feeling and went back to sleep. When I saw my sister in the bathroom the next morning, as I was brushing my teeth, I asked her what last night was all about, because I didn't think it was still sleepwalking. She must have wanted to prank me or something. "What? I didn't wake up at all last night," she said, confused by my question. I stared at her for a little while before rolling my eyes and spitting out my toothpaste. "Be like that then," I replied. She looked puzzled but didn't say anything back before leaving the bathroom and going downstairs for breakfast. After she had left for school, I told Mom about what happened. She sat there for a while, looking at me, before she carefully asked me, "Did you maybe drink a little too much yesterday?" I felt offended and frowned. "No? What do you mean? I went to bed after that glass of wine." She got up and showed me an empty bottle. It sure as hell wasn't empty when we went to bed yesterday. Yeah, right. Didn't you and Dad drink it after I went upstairs? She didn't say anything, but she didn't need to. I know they didn't drink it, but neither did I. I'm not sure she believed me though. From that day on, the sitting on top of me happened a few times again. The second to last time she did it, she was whispering things while I was telling her to get the hell out of my room. Her voice didn't sound distorted, but it also didn't sound quite like her own voice. Whenever I tell her to cut it out, she says she doesn't know what I'm talking about. I gave up on telling my parents about it because they are now getting mad at me, asking me why I am making up things about my sister. Mom even asked me if the age difference between me and my sister was starting to bother me, and if that was the reason I felt like creating tension. I don't want to fight with them and disturb the peace we have in our little family, but now I'm getting really freaked out because I'm writing this the morning after the last time she came into my room, and it was the creepiest thing she has done yet. She sat on top of me, and in this creepy whispering voice, she told me soon it would be the last time I'd have to worry about her coming into my room. Her time sitting near the treehouse has increased drastically over the past week, and she even skipped a few days of school because she's feeling ill. But then she'll spend the entire afternoon staring at the treehouse. I don't want to tell my parents about it because I feel like they'll send me to a therapist or tell me I'm crazy. What's going on? Are my parents in on this? And what should I do? I don't know what she meant when she said it would soon be the last time she would come into my room, but it sounded threatening. I'm scared.